Well, hello, welcome back to Pieces of Pat Paints. I'm Pat. I'm not 100%, but that's okay. We're gonna mess around anyway. I know there's people I don't like. I don't like being sick. Because I don't like being slowed down. I have things to do. Because life is finite. It's you only get so much of it. So you gotta like do stuff with it. Otherwise, what was the point? So like, so that's what I try to do, and we try to create things and make things so that when we're gone, there's stuff that's maybe around. Maybe some of this stuff, my family and stuff will, or people I make things for, their families, they'll keep that stuff around, and that's the only way you really live forever, right? Is if people can kind of somehow remember you, even if they don't know that it was you that they're looking at. It's something that you made that like is always there. It's always permanent. Even it's like there's other ways of making things. It doesn't have to be a physical thing either. Teachers and philosophers and even lawmakers and people who contribute to society. People who don't do anything at all. Those people I worry about, because it's like, what did it mean? That's deep. I shouldn't be getting that deep in the morning. But when I don't feel well, I think sometimes I think too much. Maybe I think too much all the time. I just have no filter when I'm not feeling well. Okay, so there's some music and the little ask me anything, and I really mean that. You can ask me anything you want. If it's something I don't want to talk about, we won't talk about it. But for the most part, talk about anything. Yeah, try not to get in too deep political discussions because nobody really cares about that. Well, at least not my opinions on it anyway. Nor should they. You should always form your own opinions based on whatever facts you hold dear, I suppose. Anyway, so we're gonna do this lizard, which sounds like a lot of fun. There's a little bit of cleaning we gotta do on some of this guy. Some stuff we missed before we primed it. Little dimples, which is shocking. We usually don't miss these things. I think I might have been in a hurry. And this is from me when we 3D printed this guy. I 3D printed a while back. Alright, that's better. Got one more right there. There, but I popped it off. Alright. So yeah, I was supposed to get started on this Elden Ring piece, but I got kind of ill on Sunday. Turns out it's a sinus deal. A sinus infection thing. So it is brutal, man. Yesterday I was so dizzy because of all this other stuff I got going on with my breathing and all that. I just kept like getting faint, and it's like, man, I'm tired of this. So yeah, you gotta take it easy. But I'm feeling okay today. My head doesn't hurt so bad today. I'm still a little weird. A little dizzy kind of feeling, but other than that, it's okay. It's not nearly as bad yesterday. I don't feel like I'm gonna pass out. I just feel like, I've gotten to that thing where I'm like, yeah, no, we're not gonna take another drink. So just sitting down and filing some stuff down and painting things. You can do that. You can do something. Instead of just sitting around feeling sorry for yourself. Right? That's what you should do. Get that nice and smooth. Now, of course, this probably would have been easier to paint while in two pieces because, it is what it is. But these bases, it's just a rock he's on, so that should be pretty easy. We'll probably just paint that with black. But I'm thinking like we should do like, for one, kind of text piece from the print. It's very much like what they call basilisk lizards. You know, basilisk isn't an actual thing, but the old legends thing, the snake that would turn you into, or the lizard that would turn you into stone. They got a bunch, but that's a basilisk lizard there. I got a picture of that and some pictures of some colors. But, you know, they got different kind of looks. There's the old style where it had like a chicken head and all this stuff. Is how they did a lot. But the basilisk lizard looks like this guy here, which is pretty crazy. And I think I want to get down into this kind of a green yellow look, but I think I want to fade it from this color all the way down, you know, and then like just do this head this way, and then do the blues, and then transition down to the greens as we come through his body and tail, kind of get into some greens. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Be cool. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. And make sure you get all the bits of prep done before we get started. Oop, I dropped the blade right now. Always be careful with those blades, guys. Cut the dickens out yourself. Just a little bit of, not even sure what that is. Just want to make sure it's not. Might have been like just a little bit of glue that dried and peeled off or something like that. Who knows? We're pretty good shape. Looks like he's missing a finger. Phew. Goodness. Whatever I popped off there was not his finger. It was something that was loose on there. It didn't have any shape. It looked like sometimes when you cure them, there's little bits that are stuck on that are weird. It probably snapped off when I pulled them off the supports. That happens a lot. There are disadvantages to 3D printing, but still, this still looks better than. Like, this is a WizKids miniature. This is a pretty popular D&D figure company, and they, yeah, they still have poor quality as well. I mean, it's like the details aren't as good, but you still, like this guy here. I don't know what this is, but he's got to come out of there because that's not supposed to be there. I don't know what that is. I don't think you can see it. There's like this weird lump on the inside of his cloak. They're like, it shouldn't be there. But it is. Gotta cut it out. Get it fixed. Alright. That should do it right there. So, we're going to start out. We need a little bit of one of our favorite colors. The raw umber. I finally get to use this giant tube I bought. I bought this a while ago. I've been very excited. It's cool. And this, you really should just be able to pop it on there. That's going to be enough paint. Give it just a tiny little pressure with your thumb. Just pop it on there. It'll get a completely different kind of lid. Oh, it feels so nice. These other lids are so weird. They're knobby and they hurt. This thing's like soft but grippy because it's multiple ridges. Weirdo. Okay, so get all kind of like the shadows and underneath the things, and of course the rock in this number. Make sure it's nice and thin so it can find our cracks. A lot of people like to really up that contrast and do these underneath some like black and stuff like that. I find that's a little unnecessary. And I believe his finger gone, like he got it gnawed off or something. Because that happens. Lizards lose digits and all sorts of stuff. Put something underneath it. These things are brittle. That's one of the, I said there's disadvantages to everything. And the brittleness of the 3D prints is its disadvantage. The quality of the sculpts can be a lot higher, but you get a lot more detail and that sort of thing. But you trade that off for, it's a thinner, more breakable deal. Hey. Oh, I had, sinus infection. And they still don't really know why I keep getting faint other than the coughs and stuff, or the spasm thing. So, I don't know. We're still waiting on information on the sleep study I did. So we'll see. We'll see. But there wasn't any, anything alarming in the blood work or anything like that. So, at least not yet, I guess. But you know me, I can't be down for long. I gotta do something. I can't sit around and just like do nothing, even if I feel like crap. I mean, currently I'm dizzy because I have sinus pressure. Like I can feel it today. The other day I wasn't really sure what the heck was wrong with me, but today I'm like, ugh. yesterday I could tell it was sinuses. It's like, oh man, no, this is definitely sinus pressure. So we'll see. I was kind of hoping maybe there was something, blood work wise, that was gonna like set off alarm bells for people. They would be like, oh hey, this is it. We can fix it. Oh, here we go. But yeah, they don't freaking know. It's got to be this throat thing. I just got to make sure make sure you stay on your medicine. I made it stay on the medicine. Try not to get trying to get around too many irritants, I guess. Take it easy. I gotta learn how to like pace myself better. That's probably a lot of my problem. I mean, we might. Okay, so now. Okay. So we're trying to kind of get those colors. So we're going to start off with the cadmium here. We're going to put the basic parts of the color on first, and then we'll come back and do all the dots and transitions. Or maybe on this, actually I probably want to put some of the dark down first. And then a little Mars black with her cadmium orange. He's got more like frills to his neck instead of smaller scales, so we're gonna have to kind of modify a little bit of this. We still want to put just a few of these darker marks on here, and just kind of think of the direction they need to go in order to make sense. Because we're gonna paint over a lot of this. So this is gonna be underneath everything and kind of poke out is the idea. Because it's a darker color underneath some lighter colors. I always like painting lizards and reptiles. They're kind of fun to paint. You got a little bit more chance at kind of playing Well, hello, odd tiny RV TV. We're painting it's a lizard. Um, we're gonna do some Elden Ring work, but I got ill, so I wasn't able to get the Elden Ring stuff printed off yet. So I grabbed something out of my box of stuff and started painting him. And he's just a little like basilisk kind of lizard on a rock. So we're gonna paint it up. We're just kind of goofing off. I don't like laying around being. I don't like being sick. It makes me irritable. So I'd rather, because I like to do stuff. So if I have to recover, I need to keep myself busy. Otherwise, I just throw myself into like massive cleaning projects, or I decide to go mow the lawn while I'm sick, and then I make myself sicker. So I kind of have to keep doing what I'm supposed to do in my regular life if I don't want to make myself more ill. And it's cold right now, and I definitely shouldn't be outside doing anything. You don't look in the eyes of the basilisk. So we're going with kind of a multi-layer color here. We're gonna kind of keep fading this color up as we go. That's what I think about it. You know, just kind of chill out. I mean, we paint usually every day. I usually paint every day anyway. And so it's like you gotta, you know, keep doing some of the normal things that you usually do. Don't let being sick keep you down for too long. I mean, yesterday I couldn't be on, so I had to. Yesterday I had to go get myself well. see some medical attention. But I'm feeling a little bit better today. It's not as much pain. It's more just kind of tired and woozy. Not bad enough to where I don't feel like I can paint though. All right, so I'm gonna come back and mess with this mouth later. Right now, we're just kind of trying to throw down some basic color points to work off of. Okay, what's the next color? Put a little bit of the yellow. Fade down into the blues and greens. So that's a cadmium yellow. This is a decadmium, so it's going to have that like rich, very rich yellow versus something like a regular cadmium. That's my lemon. Or like a lemon yellow is also very different. So like lemon yellow is going to be more like this. It's more like a glowing color, a glowing yellow. And cadmium seems more natural. Oh, thanks. Yeah, Godfrey was so cool. That one was such a neat model. In general, it was really, really neat. It was a lot of fun doing that one. Next, we're doing, I think it's Melania. I know McBeardsly knows who they are. I'm just the artist. I just paint things. McBeardsly helps me keep track of all the cultural references to some of this stuff it's unfortunately not my era. When I started playing video games, you know, it was things like Ataris and Commodore 64s. The new stuff is so cool. It's too hard for me. The Honda Accord lady. That's hilarious. Yeah, you gotta be like a legit gamer for that game. I think that game is pretty rough. tried. It was cosmically hard. It's like colossally difficult to play that game. Yeah, I used to play a lot of video games. I don't play very much anymore. I play Minecraft because my kids they have a server or a load file or whatever. I don't remember what it is anymore. And we all kind of like play as a family on it. And then I like racing games. I love good racing games. But I tried the Souls thing. Why not? It was, why not try, right? And it was, God, it was hard. It's way beyond my, I don't know. As I got older, I got to where I like games that were, I wouldn't say you could beat easily, but where you at least weren't getting just completely destroyed every second of the game. That's why I stopped playing Street Fighter in the arcade, man. You just go get whooped. Somebody coming to whoop you, man. When I was a kid, that was the thing. If you were really good, you were out playing somebody at the arcade on the Street Fighter. Well, I shouldn't say kid. I guess I was a young adult at that time. Crazy. Golly, time flies. Good old days. That's cool, man. I'm glad to hear that. We used to play, man, we used to go to the arcade. You go to the arcade with like $20 and you get like a pizza, a Coke, and you're gonna be playing video games for hours. Nowadays, like $20 that video. But the thing is, like, you had to keep. It really was kind of a rip off when you really think about it. Because like we would just dump. We're just dumping quarters into these machines. I mean, I couldn't tell you over the span of, let's say, 3 years that we were really going to the arcade before everybody started getting their own systems and stuff like that. Man, we were probably dumping hundreds of dollars into that place. Hundreds of dollars. Because, you're playing pinball, you're just dropping it all. Even if we were playing pool, those places were making money. Hey, it's Francois. Bonjour. Okay, then it had like this little black coil, right? Yeah, it's kind of transition it into the blue. Okay. I like that idea. Yeah, man. Yeah, the people who were really good at the games, who were hogging up the machines, would definitely get the death stares. You're definitely right about that, man. It's like, oh man, get off the man. Can you give somebody else a turn? Jeez, guy. Unless it was something like you get somebody who was really good at Dragon's Lair, and you could watch Dragon's Lair. You know, you're like, that game was cool to watch because like it was like a movie. You know, if you remember that one, and so it was like the people who were really good at that game, you could sit and kind of hang out and watch them play it, and it was kind of neat. Okay, a little titanium white for the spots there, I think. It's kind of like a white, a little mix of both the colors, huh? Blue. So let's get some blues out. So we got phthalo. I think we can use it as a kind of a base color. Dave the Diver. Is it on like a... Oh yeah, no, yeah, no, you've been playing the crazy thing of Bloodsuckers. Off trying to catch up on all the talk. That's fun. I love when the chat's rolling. Okay, I'm gonna go a bit of white. Just kind of in there. Again, a lot of that's just placeholding. Kind of help me remember what I'm doing there. Oh no, not always. I use different things depending on like what colors I like, and like sometimes it's about effect. So like sometimes I'll use an oil paint because oil paints are a little bit more shiny, or an ink because of the way an ink coats or the shininess of an ink. But I also have like, I've got Army Painter and Pro Acryl and Citadel. I've got everything around here. I grew up on fine acrylics, Well, and oil paints. And so like, um, that's what I was most comfortable with. And like regular, I don't have as much control. Like, I love this color, and I can make this color really easily out of acrylic, out of any kind of paint colors. It's nice to be able to have a little bit of it to go and ready and be able to be used. But this is super thin for me. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh. So like, I don't have a lot. Like, I can thin it out more, but I can't ever make it thicker to give like sometimes I want a textured dot or something like that. And so like, you can't quite get the texture out of this that you can out of like a finer a fine art acrylic, because just the thickness of the medium. And it's kind of one of those deals where it's like you can always make it thinner, but you can't make it thicker typically with so it's I get that, man. A lot of people that's what a lot of people do. I have a friend I paint with here in the city, and he gets them pretty much cranked out pretty fast because he likes the thinner, faster drawing stuff. And oils can be kind of a pain. You do have to kind of let it. There's definitely some deal. Oh yeah, nothing pulls those panels out like an oil. It'll drop right in those cracks and run. I make my own. Oh, I call it the grime. This stuff right here, and it's just oil paint and mineral spirits, and it'll grime up or line panels, whatever you need it to do. So I love that stuff. We're going to need to add a little bit of white to that phthalo to get to the color we want. What kind of models do you paint? I haven't had time to go look and see it. What kind of channel you have? I'm excited to go check it out later. Yes, yeah, that's right. That's the way to do it, man. That's how you know you're deep in the hobbies. You're deep in the painting thing when you've got random jars of things that only you know what's in it because you're the one who made it and nobody else would have. If somebody sat at your bench, they would have no idea what it is. None of it's labeled. That's when you know you're deep in. You've become an artist. You're there. We're going to have a little bit of a darker version of this, maybe down in these recesses. Kind of help us get a little bit of that contrast going. Infinity Miniatures, cool, man. I'll definitely check that out. I will be over there whenever I wrap up over here. I definitely like checking out other people's work. I I usually get inspired to do something. That's one of the things I really enjoy about live painting is you can get people on that. I don't know. It's something that was in my pile of shame, so I grabbed it. I think it's from Loot, which is it's a 3D print company. They make some pretty cool stuff too. Loot makes some neat miniatures. I think this came with a group of kobolds. I haven't been feeling well enough to get on to printing out the next piece for Mike's Elden Ring shelf, because there were 2 games of soccer outside this weekend, and I only was at part of one, but it was super windy, and then I got to the second one, and it was even windier, and I think I caught myself a sinus infection through it all, from what the doctor seemed to think. And so they're on. Now I have to take more pills, and my giant lump of pills that I have to take every day. Yeah, it's strange. YouTube, it kind of goes in patterns. YouTube does. So like I'm kind of hoping that I'm eventually I'm gonna be on the major pattern where people are like, oh no, I want this super authentic thing where, people are really just sitting around chatting and, putting things together. But there's a couple of guys out there that do that where they'll put together scratchable stuff. But you're right, a lot of them have like a specific focus. I guess north of the border, he's kind of random and all over the place. But like they'll make stuff he does, like his stuff is pretty much the same kind of stuff all the time, where he's just building stuff out of bits and pieces, and it's all got this kind of same familiar look and same familiar kind of vein. Which don't get me wrong, I think it's awesome. I love his channel. Building stuff is amazing. Boyle Out Hobby Time, he does a bunch of different stuff, but he mainly sticks to his Wild West thing and Star Wars. You can see he'll do a lot of Star Wars stuff. But you're right, if you're too all over the place, then I guess it's not quite as catching. Yeah, definitely. It takes a while to kind of like building up a group of people. Like Francois been around for a while. He's our resident Dark Angels painter and player. Even though I'm doing a little bit of Dark Angel stuff now, and I've known Sir McBeardsly since he was in culinary school when I was still a culinary school instructor. And we've got a couple of folks that are just that watch but don't ever participate in any of the discussions or anything. Now they'll watch after the fact or something like that, which is really, really neat as well. And I see you guys out there, and thank you. I know who you are. I don't know who you are. It doesn't tell me, but I know you're out there, and I appreciate it. Yeah, can you believe it's been 10 years? Make it appears like that's crazy. Yeah, I had to kind of like figure out all this setup. it's been evolving. We've been doing it for about a year. Bring out BattleTech and you're gone. I like it. That's a pretty good perspective too, because like it's sometimes it's all about just catching that interest of particular people at particular times. You know what I mean? And then some of it's about just being interesting in general. You know, in what you're painting. I like BattleTech as a game, but like the models are kind of pretty basic, and there's not like a whole lot of there's just not a whole lot of variety you can do. Mix or intercom, especially for BattleTech, they're all pretty basic, and they're tiny. Oh, they're so tiny. But you know, it's cool. I mean, teach their own. God, I haven't played BattleTech for decades. It seems like. Oh, BattleTech. That's funny. I've been checking out this Trench Crusade. It looks pretty cool. Does anybody like that? Anybody look at Trench Crusade? There's definitely something to be said about engagement. Like I'll say like you were saying, odd tiny. We were talking about like it's only two hands right now on your channel. There's some people like that, but some people like with my stream, I've noticed that if I take my face all the way out, people don't respond as well. I get more interaction if you just have like the one headshot over there, even if I'm just every now and again just looking over like this. There's something that makes people feel like, I don't know, I guess it feels more like they can participate because they can see your face. But like if you don't want to do it on like long format videos where you're doing, if it's an edited video, you don't want to have like your face showing all the time. It's weird because like that's when you want to have like cuts to your face, not like a cut on your face, but like you cut the scene over to your face and then you cut it back to whatever you were working on. It's really weird. These are just things I've picked up over like a year of messing around with this and trying to figure out what works. Let's see, it says, this hobby referred to in the whitest way possible. Yes, the hobby. Oh yeah. Oh, that's real. That's real. You're spot on. You're never gonna get like a full on consensus. That's why I decided like I'm just gonna do whatever I want to do. You know, and people are gonna like it because of my style. You know. Maybe so. Maybe so. It's hard to, you know, there's been a lot of people or a lot of games that come around where were supposed to be the Games Workshop killer or whatever, the Warhammer killer, and it's never really been able to happen because, like, in the end, you know, there's a lot more involved in model making than just, you know, putting together some ideas and some sculpts. Yeah, there's the interaction side of it. That's McBeardsly's definitely onto it right there. With the live streams, they're definitely, it's like you have to have that personal interaction. Like you have to, we feel better about it in our minds psychologically when we can see the person that's talking. But like if you're just watching a tutorial video, you don't necessarily need to see this person's face all the time. You kind of want to see the action more. You want to focus on the action more. That's kind of like how that's a good idea. Well, yeah. Well, we lost a lot of like, markets and stuff like that. You can't just like go down to a square in the village and see artists do their thing live. Those things are kind of gone. Yeah, I mean, for me, if there was some cool model, if there's cool models that I like, I don't mind. You know, I'll paint. I like painting different models. So like, if there's something that's neat in it, it doesn't make any difference to me whether it tanks. I got the model out of it. Like I said, this comes from this one comes from a company called Loot Studios, and they just kind of make models, you know, for D&D or whatever you want to play with it. They're not trying to make their own game system or like be the next this or that. They're just going off of something that's already there, and you can use their modules if you want. They make modules for their stuff. I'm just going back and forth with this darker phthalo and the lightened phthalo, and just kind of working in these little sections, trying to bring out the shadows and the highlights. Here's a go. One of the things I do like about that thicker paint is it really will kind of just give you the brush strokes you want. It's gonna stick on. It's gonna be on there. You can sometimes just come through with one pass of a color, or you can thin it down and come with multiple passes. It just depends on how you want to work the colors itself. All right, now I want to fade into a green. Yeah, I mean, GW kind of has that same thing like, you know, Dungeons and Dragons does. Like everybody kind of knows Warhammer, even if you just only loosely know it. If you've never even been to a hobby store, been to a game store, you've seen the imagery of that Space Marine somewhere online or something. It's an instant recognition. Just like if somebody says Dungeons and Dragons, you know what Dungeons and Dragons is. You know, I mean, unless you're just completely culturally out of touch, you know what these things are. You try to start up a new company, you're facing a giant headwind from trying to get it done. Yeah, I heard X-Wing definitely didn't do well with its update. That's another danger is like once you get it going, you have to kind of like keep it going and you have to find another way to make money off of the situation. There's a lot to all that. I'm one of those guys that like, you know, I've invested. I wouldn't say I've invested, but I've bought, you know, miniatures from people that are, you know, they haven't really made a lot of miniatures, or this is like they're trying to get going on my mini factory or whatever, just because I liked the look of the miniature, you know. Or heck, I've gotten a couple of files where, yeah, you're just tipping somebody, you know, you're not even. They don't even have like official store or a company or anything. It's just a 3D modeler made a model, and I needed it for a game, or I just wanted to paint it. So I'm prone to doing that sort of stuff. But I like painting all sorts of things. I get bored doing the same stuff over and over and over again. Hey, I appreciate the sub, man. Have a great day, brother. I really, really appreciate you. I'm definitely coming by, check it out. Come check out your show. For sure, brother. That's awesome. Yeah, I kind of got to agree with you on that one, Francois. It's going to be tough, you know, and they've got to make sure that, you know, those models have got to be on point. You know, they're offering I think they're offering an ability to do like printable, like you can print them, which is interesting, but I don't know that. Like with Loot, that's what their primary deal is. It's just you're printing printable figurines, and you can play their little, like I said, you can play their campaign or whatever. But like, if you're doing like a war game, in order to make your money, you've got to. So see you later, Otani. And yeah. So you gotta keep people paying money, or else you can't keep going. So you end up in a situation like X-Wing, where they're having to make a new edition to get people to buy the next parts and stuff like that, but they don't have the team behind it to launch the edition properly and make sure that it's going to work right, and to make sure that it's going to integrate smoothly and and they also don't have that thing that GW has, where everybody's been playing it for so long that they're going to go along with the changes, because what else are they going to do? Have to throw away all this money you've already invested? I don't think so. So you're just it's tough. To be the slayer of the giant is definitely not an easy task. And X-Wing fit a market was different too, because like X-Wing was like it was a space combat, which is a little bit different. GW had something like that. What was that? Battlefleet Gothic, if I remember. And it was a cool game, but like it didn't get. I don't know that it got supported properly or whatever happened, but it definitely didn't materialize. But I think with something like X-Wing, they had an opportunity there, and it's a shame they squandered it. Because people, when you think of Star Wars, I mean, yeah, you think of guys throwing lightsabers around and stuff like that, but you also think of, the X-Wing combat. You think of people flying around, in their X-Wing shooting at people. That is definitely part of it. We're going to need a different kind of green too. Maybe sap? No, that's not quite right. Because we're trying to go into transition into this kind of green. So that's. Let me see. Let me see. Maybe that mixed with something else. That's definitely not it. I think it's going to be this mixed with something else. Maybe that and sap green. Yeah. Well, I'm blending two different lizards together to make one lizard, or one type of lizard. I wanted to make him like different colors and stuff. A little bit lighter than just straight phthalo there. I'll work for a base coat and we'll come back and mess with it again later. I still need to pull that phthalo in as we go, but that'll definitely work for now. Just to get something started. That'll be fun. Yeah, I always try to pull things from like real life if I can. If I get too fanciful, then it's got to be something super alien looking. I think that's what, like Tyranids, it's easy to paint those things in exotic colors for me because they already don't really exist. So like, it doesn't really make any difference to me what color I paint them. But like for a lizard, I'm like, oh wait, no, because lizards have this thing, a certain way they look. Because whatever lizard this isn't a real lizard. There's no lizard that looks like this. So I kind of took a mix between, you know, what is that, a collared gecko or something like that, and a basilisk lizard. The green basilisks are fun. It'd be fun because we're gonna pull those. We're gonna pull this blue as dots down him. We started adding in some of the other dots and stuff like that. Right now, we just got to get all the base coats kind of done in. An idea of what kind of colors we're working with. Maybe even fade into a red on the tail. But, oh, look at that. We are we've gone way into the time, which is great. Pull this down. I'm gonna go get some hot tea and some water. And probably go get a little bit of rest, because I probably should. I'm gonna take some medicine. It's almost time for medicine time. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. It was great to have you here, Odd Tiny. Salute. I'll be following your channel. Always a pleasure, Francois. Great to see you. I always enjoy your sharp criticisms and rational thoughts, and there's always needs to be a voice of reason, and I feel like you definitely help make sure things stay grounded. That's important. So I like people that just call it like they see it, man. It's a whole lot easier if people would just call it like they see it. Even if people don't agree with you, it's better to just call it like you see it. Let people just disagree. It's fine with them. They don't want to agree with you, whatever. So I appreciate that personally. So, especially on our live stream, it's nice to have a little bit of a friendly banter, some chats about, hey, this isn't really gonna work. That's not gonna, because it's true. It's there's all sorts of things like McBeardsly say there's a World of Warcraft killer where everybody thought somebody was gonna somehow take out World of Warcraft, and it just didn't happen. And there's been there's always, every time D&D gets into some sort of struggle, they're like, oh well, this game's coming through, it's gonna kill it. First it was Palladium. People thought Palladium somehow take out Dungeons and Dragons, and then it was after that it was you had several other games that kept coming through, and like Pathfinder is great. People love Pathfinder, and it's a great alternative to D&D, but it's pretty much just a D&D clone. So it's not really, it's easy to just grab the same stuff. You don't have to. They're not trying to build a whole system like Trench Crusade. Trench Crusade is trying to build a whole different deal, where they're trying to make their own complete game that's not using any of the same stuff, their own ideas, their own concepts, complete new mini sculpts. I mean, that's expensive and time consuming. Hopefully, you can keep up with all that stuff, and you have a way to market it and get it moving. And whether or not they're able to pull it off, who knows? Because you're totally right. That's that voice of reason. It's like, don't get caught up in the hype. I mean, unless you just like painting models. If you want some cool models to paint, then yeah, heck yeah, why not? If you like the models, paint them. But if you think this game is going to be played at your local game store every weekend, it's probably not. You need to be playing Bolt Action, or if you want to get away from Warhammer and Games Workshop and them, play some of the ones that are actually supported. Bolt Actions. People play Bolt Action everywhere. There's always a Bolt Action game going on somewhere. Somebody's playing that game. And you can play World War I Bolt Action if you really want to run, Germans and gas masks and stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyway, I love you guys. You're awesome. I really appreciate you keeping me company while I don't feel good, and putting up with me while I don't feel good. So, yeah, I guess that's all I got. We're gonna see you tomorrow because I'll be back. everything will be tip top, hopefully. And then we're not going to be on Thursday, of course, because it's Thanksgiving. But yeah, there you have it. So thanks to McBeardsly for moderating. Always great to have you around, my friend. Happy Thanksgiving to anybody who I don't see it. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. If you're celebrating anything, happy celebration. And yeah, be good to each other.